All right, let's dive into one of nature's most incredible and honestly, most powerful creations, the supercell thunderstorm. Now, these aren't your average storms, not even close. These are the true titans of the sky, and they're responsible for some of the wildest weather on the entire planet.
Just look at this thing. When storm chasers see a beast like this on the horizon, they have a name for it. A mothership. And you can see why, right? It's got these sweeping, stacked layers that look like something straight out of a science fiction movie. It's one of those sights that's just breathtakingly beautiful and, let's be honest, a little bit terrifying all at once.
So what's the big deal? Well, for starters, they're incredibly rare. I mean, think about all the thunderstorms that happen around the world. Scientists figure that supercells make up less than 1% of all of them, but, and this is the crazy part, that tiny little fraction is responsible for most of the really severe weather out there. They are, without a doubt, the kings of the clouds.
To really get how these giants are born, we're gonna need some help. So let's meet our guys for today, the very wise Professor Nimbus and his super curious student, Sparky. They're inviting us into their cosmic kitchen to spill the secrets on the recipe for a supercell. Okay, so Professor Nimbus is kicking things off, and he's making one thing clear. You can't just whip up a supercell. Nope, it takes a very specific recipe, 4 absolutely crucial ingredients that have to come together in just the right way. So, ingredient number 1, the professor says, is lift. This is what gets the whole process started. You need something, maybe a cold front rolling in to act like a ramp and give that warm air on the ground a good shove upwards. You can think of it like turning on the oven to get things preheating. It's the first step. Next up, well, you can't have a storm without clouds, right? So you need moisture. This is the actual fuel. It's the flour and water for our recipe. Supercells need a ton of warm, humid air. A lot of times it gets pulled all the way up from the Gulf of Mexico, and that's the raw material for building those gigantic, towering clouds.
Our third ingredient is instability. Professor Nimbus calls this the yeast in the recipe, and that's the perfect way to think about it. This happens when you get a layer of warm, moist air stuck underneath a layer of much colder, drier air. What does warm air want to do? It wants to rise, and when it's that much warmer than the air above it, it doesn't just rise, it rockets upward, creating this incredibly powerful, energetic updraft.
But here's the thing. Professor Nimbus leans in and says, now Sparky, those first 3 ingredients, they'll get you a pretty decent thunderstorm, a strong one even. But to make a true supercell, well, for that, you need the secret sauce.
And that secret ingredient, the one that changes everything, is wind shear. This is the absolute game changer. It means the winds are changing speed and direction as you go higher up in the atmosphere. This shear acts like a giant hand that grabs hold of that powerful updraft and starts to twist it. It sets the entire storm into rotation, and that is the magic that turns a regular storm into a long-lasting, spinning giant.
Okay, so all our ingredients are in the bowl. Now Professor Nimbus is pulling back the curtain to give us a look at the anatomy of this absolute beast of a storm. Right at the very heart of every single supercell is this, the mesocyclone. This isn't just a little spin. This is the storm's giant rotating engine. It's a column of air spinning like a top that can be up to 10 miles wide and stretch thousands of feet up into the sky. If a storm has a mesocyclone, it's a supercell, period. It's the one thing that defines them.
Now, this whole rotating structure is what lets the storm live for so long. The updraft, that mesocyclone, is the engine, constantly sucking in warm, moist air to keep it going. But the genius part is that its exhaust, the rain and cool air, is kept separate. You have the rain falling out ahead of the storm, and another downdraft of cool air wrapping around the back. This incredible design, this separation of the engine from the exhaust, is why supercells can survive for hours and travel for hundreds of miles.
You know, there's actually a really cool way you can see this in action. Just grab a plastic bottle, fill it with water, turn it upside down, and give it a good swirl. You'll see a little whirlpool, a vortex, form right in the middle as the water drains out. That's the exact same principle that powers the massive mesocyclone. It's all about how that spinning motion organizes the flow of energy.
So, as Professor Nimbus explains, just like with any recipe, a few little tweaks can change the final result. And it turns out, supercells come in 3 main flavors, and each one has its own look, its own personality, and its own special dangers.
Let's break them down. First, you've got the LP, or low precipitation supercell. These often look like incredible sculptures in the sky, but they are mean hail machines, capable of dropping stuff the size of softballs. Then you have your classic supercell, the textbook mothership we saw earlier.
These are the ones famous for producing those powerful long-track tornadoes. And finally, you have the HP, or high precipitation supercell. These are messy, ugly storms completely wrapped in rain, and they're super dangerous because they can hide a powerful tornado right inside that blinding rain.
So you can imagine Sparky looking up at the professor, his eyes wide, and asking, are these storms dangerous? And this is where the lesson gets really serious. Professor Nimbus says that knowing their power and truly respecting it is the #1 most important step to staying safe.
And this slide really says it all, doesn't it? Supercells can throw pretty much every kind of severe weather at you. We're talking giant hail, destructive winds over 100 miles an hour, flash floods, and of course, they are responsible for almost all of the world's most violent tornadoes, the EF3s, EF4s, and EF5s.
Which brings us to the most important question of all. We've gone through the whole recipe, we've looked at the science, but how does knowing all of this actually help keep you safe? It all comes down to this one simple idea. Understanding how these storms are built helps you respect just how powerful they are. So when you hear forecasters say the conditions are right for supercells, you know it's not just another rainy day. It's a signal to take every single warning seriously and get to a safe, sturdy shelter right away.
So to finish up our lesson today, Professor Nimbus has 5 final golden rules. These are the absolute most important things he wants Sparky and all of us to remember about these incredible storm giants.
Let's run through them real quick. 1. It rotates. That mesocyclone is what makes it a supercell. 2. It's rare. They're the least common kind of thunderstorm. 3. It needs shear. That's the secret sauce that gets it spinning. 4. It lasts for hours, thanks to that brilliant engine and exhaust setup. And 5. It has 3 flavors: LP, Classic, and HP. And you gotta know what you're dealing with.
So we've learned the recipe, we've dissected the storm, but even knowing all that, it leaves you with a final thought to chew on, doesn't it? What other secrets are these incredible storm giants still hiding from us, way up there in the clouds?